One other piece of news that came out yesterday was Ronald Acuña Jr.
Yeah, he changed his agent. Apparently, just found out his contract not so good. Someone told him, "Hey, Ronnie, you got hosed."
So Ken Rosenthal tweeted that he has changed agencies, which is weird halfway through your mega contract. And of
Yep.
course, I think that's part of the problem, right? Is that his mega contract is now looking like a real bust on the player's end of things in comparison to some of these other young generational talents contracts, right? You look at Fernando's, you look at Lindor's, right? Like there's these mega contracts out there, and Acuna feels obviously a little bit snake bit.
8 years, $100 million contract for Ronald Acuna Jr. I joke that he got hosed. Honest to God, when I look at his stats page, 82 games last season. Sorry, in 2021. I still consider the
Yep.
one that just finished to be this season. 119 games this most recent season. Two big injuries. I think one was, are they both knee injuries? I know the one he stepped on first base weird. But point being, this, I mean, we sometimes are critical of owners ripping off players and these team friendly deals and, oh, bad he got
No,
hosed.
there's
But
risk.
honestly,
There's always risk.
you're buying out the risk, man. Or like,
Yeah.
if he's done, I'm not. Oh, that's
Yeah.
a
Obviously,
bold way
that's
of
not
putting
the
it. I'm not
case.
saying he's
Yeah.
done, but I mean, that's why, as a 20-year-old, as a 21-year-old, you take that
Consider signing
$100 million
that deal.
contract. As you go, you know what? When I'm 23, what happens if I step on first base weirdly? I eat a bad batch of tacos and I got to miss some time. All of a sudden, 100 million in the bank is nice. It is nice. So, with all that being said, it is just interesting after the all the talk 2 weeks ago about Ronald Acuna Jr. being traded to the Blue Jays or
Yeah.
the Braves moving on from Ronald Acuna Jr. So the timing is interesting. It is worth noting though that he does have some super talented family members that are coming up the pipeline.
Oh,
So,
really?
oh yeah, I think this is the big factor here. Um, so per Ken Rosenthal, Acuna's two young brothers, I think, and a cousin are all pretty top tier prospects here. So his brothers, Luis Angel, 20 years old, is the Rangers' number 7 prospect.
Okay.
And Brian, who's 17 years old, is a Twins prospect. And then he has a
Interesting.
cousin, Miguel Garcia, is the Royals' number 5 prospect. So they've all joined him at this new agency,
Ah,
uh, which
bloodlines.
is Magnus Sports. So it could just be a case of like, the family sees, you know, old Ronald there. Maybe
As the
took a
learning
team
curve.
friendly deal. We're going to learn from
Yeah.
him and we want to go a different direction. And it just makes too much sense if everyone in your family is with one particular agent. So it is news, but it's also, I don't necessarily think this is
Yeah,
an
it's
indicator
probably
that
nothing.
he wants out of town and he's going to be pushing hard for a new
Yeah, it's
contract. And
probably nothing.
I don't see a holdout coming next year or anything like that. So
Mhm.
it is what it is. And honestly, yeah, he's still going to be 100 millionaire at the end of this. Like
Yeah,
you can't tell me anybody got hosed when they got a 9-figure contract,
couldn't agree more.
right?
Couldn't agree more. And honestly, yes, in comparison to his counterparts out on the market, he is being underpaid. However, he does have club options, which of course they're going to take
Yep.
for his 29 and 30 season, but he is going to be a free agent at 30 years old, very similar to Aaron Judge. He could still get a monster $300 million contract, and maybe he can even match what a guy like Fernando Tatis Jr. wound up doing, jumping the gun on a contract at 22. we'll need to wait and see, right?
Absolutely.
All right,
Out of
everybody.
curiosity, I know before we say goodbye here,
Yes.
Ronald Acuna Jr., if he hadn't have signed that contract when he did, given his two most recent seasons with two kind of scary injuries that have cost him some real time, what what kind of contract does he get if he's heading into contract negotiations having missed a good chunk of time? Like that's a factor to consider too, right? Is even if it's not a career ender, just having those, like, look at Byron Buxton. I think that's a good comparable. What's Byron
Yeah, but
Buxton got for
also
a
look at Aaron Judge, right? If you can have your one healthy season be the season before you go to free agency, all is forgotten because Judge has struggled with health his entire career up until last season and then, breaks the AL home run record and
man,
is going to get
man,
north of $350 million.
man. Okay, Byron Buxton just signed his big deal.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy to me. They gave him 7 years, $100 million.
Yeah.
That's more AAV than Acuna.
Yeah.
Byron Buxton
And
never plays.
he
That's
doesn't.
insane. 92 games, 61 games, 39 games, 87 games, 28 games. Jeez Louise, Byron Buxton. His agent deserves a nice steak
Yeah.
dinner. Anyways,
Yeah.
I digress. Sorry for taking us on that tangent there.
We really appreciate all of you within the walk-off community. This thing continues to grow and become an animal of its own. It's a little bit overwhelming, but honestly, we love talking Blue Jays baseball and all the interaction that you folks are involved with us. Thank you so much. Discord, feel free to join it. That is always free. The show or the link is in the show notes. You can follow us on Twitter at Walk Off Podcast, on Instagram, the Walk Off Podcast. And if you are watching on YouTube currently and you're not subscribed, we'd really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. All the best, everybody. Cheers.